Welcome, President Elvector.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Hi.
for inviting me.
We're very happy to have you here. So could you please have a brief introduction of yourself to the audience?
Yes, yeah, I am former president of Mongolia, and I was born in Mongolia, and I actually established democratic movement with my friends in Mongolia, which ended 70 years ruling, a communist rule in Mongolia. And I served my country 2 times as prime minister and 2 terms as president. And I was one of the drafters of Mongolian democratic constitution. And now I am retired. Now I'm at the Stanford University. I'm visiting fellow there.
We're seeing North Korea playing its part, trying to be at a position where they seem like they're on the same position as Russia and China, and they're trying to really promote themselves to the international community. So how is the North Korea utilizing the situation for their benefit? What's your take?
And during my presidency in my office, I actually visited North Korea. And, you know, with the both Korea, we have very good relations. But lately, I think maybe after Ukraine war, and Russia became kind of the pariah state, you know, get really alone, you know, excluded from the international community because of their aggression against Ukraine. And I see now they are working, maybe cooperating closely with North Korea. And also China is, of course, politically, economically behind this North Korean regime. And it seems that comparing with some years ago, today's situation in North Korea becoming a more dangerous place now. And we have to pay more attention to that. And when I was in my office, also we had an initiative called Ulaanbaatar Dialogue on Northeast Asian Security. And every year, usually we have dialogue and a small conference. And we invite all those countries from the Northeast Asia to Korea and Japan, Russia, China, and other experts from Europe and America, they come. You know, Mongolia since 1990, only vibrant democracy between Russia and China. And still, Mongolia's democracy is resilient. Just in last June, we had a parliamentary elections, and we actually have a parliamentary type of democracy. And even though by the economic size or other means, maybe Mongolia is not that big country, but as an example, as a democratic example, Mongolia is a very powerful example.
As you mentioned, Mongolia could be a big player, you know, when it comes to North Korea issues. So
yes.
I'm wondering, do you think this kind of situation would continue? And if you see some breakthrough, particularly maybe we could see Mongolia talking to them, what would be a breakthrough in the near future?
I think why Mongolia is really important in this regard, and because Mongolia was a communist state, we had a similar political system before 1990, and we show to world and also to North Korea, you can change your political system. That the change can happen, and from that usually people can benefit. And that's really important. When North Korean people come to Mongolia, and we used to receive some workers from North Korea, and also we received some refugees, for example. Since during the 2000 until before the Beijing Olympics, many North Koreans came through China and came to Mongolia, and through Mongolia escaped to South Korea. And that was one of the route. And we accommodated them. And I know there are quite big number of people. And other thing, when they come, I think they see that change in Mongolia. That can happen. That's a really important thing. We have nothing to teach to others, but we have something to share with others. Also, Mongolia is a nuclear weapon-free zone country. We announced that since 1990, we are holding for that status for a long time. And you can be nuclear weapon-free zone thanks to that, you can have broader relations with all those nations. Nuclear if you are free of nuclear weapon, also you can benefit from that. Even having nuclear weapon, it's better not to having nuclear weapon, and we show that to those people. And also why Mongolia is important, we have no big political vested interest there. And because of that, Mongolia can be very neutral place for negotiations, for meetings. And I know during our time there were the Japanese government and coming to Mongolia, and also even there were North Korean, some people and some abductee issues, they discussed those issues. Even there happened some meetings there. And we can do that, and we are, I think, doing that now. We just contributing our part.
Yeah, you were actually the last person to visit North Korea from Mongolia so far. So what was their reaction like when you talked about democracy at the Kim Il-sung University?
Yeah, when I re-elected for the second time, that was in 2013, and I visited North Korea, yeah. And of course they asked, don't mention while you are reading lecture, don't mention words democracy, free market economy, human rights. But I didn't mention that. But the title of my lecture was No Dictatorship Lasts Forever. And actually that costed me meeting with the Kim Jong-un. After that lecture, and he refused to meet me, and of course, and I tried to say them, deliver them, you know, there are ways to manage country and society, make people more free. If people enjoy their rights, actually they benefit from that, and you can free a little bit your economy or your trade relations, your financial regime. And I just tried to bring that my message, and they were quite interested. Also, they also interested what happened to your former political leaders. Are they alive? What they are doing? I said, yes, they are doing great, and some of them are retired, and that former Communist Party still, they changed their name, but it's still functioning.
So our target audience is North Koreans, and they will be listening to this conversation. So what is your, I guess, encouragement to them for them to speak up in their poverty and their current situation?
Yeah, for this question, I'm really grateful. I really, say to our friends and our brothers and sisters in North Korea, and I'm former president of Mongolia, and we had a similar political system, communist system. And we changed our country, and we gave more rights to our people. I really see that those three kind of the generations of that Kim dynasty, it's enough. And I know that North Korean people are not alone. We see your sufferings, we see your hard labor. You are really suffering, and we are with you. And since I involved in democracy, I'm just, for example, shepherd son. You know, my parents were the cattle herders, and thanks to freedom, thanks to the free choice of people, I served my country as president, as prime minister, you know. I think North Korean people and those young people should have that opportunity, and that opportunity should come to them. And this regime, actually, I see that like in a Stalin time, in the 1950s, this regime is frozen there. And under freeze, they are staying almost for 60, 70 years. That's too much. That's too much. The rest of the world, even America, European Union, or other countries, democratic countries, they are not enemies. They are not enemies. They are not going to destroy you. They are just happy to cooperate with you. I think there's everything saying, and I visited North Korea several times. As president, I visited as a member of parliament and leader of the party. I visited many times, and I visited also many places there. And I know that there are big problems. and also we care about that. If North Korea became more successful country, more open country, I think only beneficiaries, people will benefit from that.